The secret is out. Paychecks, careers are disappearing even before lunch. There are people who clock out for lunch and have no job to come back to. And so this video today is going to be about what's happening with automation, with AI, what's happening with what I call the job market collapse. And so if you haven't experienced it, then that's great for you. But chances are, if you have a job or a position or a career that can be replaced by automation, then at some point you're probably going to get replaced. And I want you to think about this. If you lost your paycheck today, how long can you survive before your utilities are disconnected, before your rent goes unpaid, before your mortgage is due and you end up in foreclosure, before your car gets repossessed, right? I've been through all of that. You don't want to go through that. So I took some notes. We're going to go through it. And for most people, I just want you to know it's about less than a week. Probably a week, 2 weeks, maybe max. And if you're doing really good, maybe a month or two. And the reason I say this is because there was a study did recently, and 80% of Americans have less than $1,500 in the bank account. So that means if you lose your job today, for the average person, for 80% of America, really, or I should say the majority of people, there's no cushion to fall back on, right? So kind of like just a financial knife to fall onto. So, but no worries. I'm going to show you how to survive this, and then I'm going to show you how to win. So just think about it. What's your runway? If you lost everything today, if you lost your job today or soon, what's your runway? 7 days, 14, 30 maybe? And then you're losing everything. So I want you to know that, and I say on all of my videos, that AI isn't on its way. AI is here. It's disrupting now. And companies don't need you. So they need outcomes. They don't need you to fill positions. They need outcomes. And so they're looking to fire you. There are companies that are already letting people know by the thousands that we're going to be letting you go because we're focused on automation. And whether these companies are making a bunch of money or not, it doesn't even matter. They don't need you. They don't want you there. They're going to cut you. And so you need to understand that. Expenses up, wages are down. And you might say, well, I didn't get a wage cut. Well, inflation says otherwise. Remember, if the price of things go up, then that automatically means that your paycheck does what? It goes down. So today we're going to talk about that. So I just want you to imagine you go to bed, right? So you have a job, you fall asleep at night, and I share this a lot, thinking you have job security, and then you wake up to an email that says your position has been eliminated. Think about how terrifying, how scary that is, right? So there might be or a Zoom call that says, hey, we appreciate your service, but your access has been denied. Your access has been revoked, right? So you check the bank, you have the $1,500 that most people have, but rent's due in 6 days. Your kid's field trip is Friday, and you're supposed to be, like they say, resilient, right? And so all of a sudden, you're facing losing everything because the system that once was successful for you, and I'm not saying it's a bad system, I'm just saying the things that you knew about money and finance, those things don't apply today. Is that fair? So things that will hurt you today that won't help you, believing these things will put you in a bad position. Believing that you have a safe job. There's no such thing as a safe job today. Believing that because you have a safe job, you're guaranteed a paycheck. That's not going to happen today. Those things are going to fail you today. Saving money in a bank account just to save money, that's going to fail you. Those things are going to leave you behind. And I could go on and on and on, but these are probably the biggest three. If you believe your job is safe, then you're going to think that the paycheck is good and you're going to focus on saving money for emergency and whatnot. And then I say, hey, forget about all of that. Let me bring you over here and give you a different perspective, right? And so my different perspective would be to change some things up, change the way you look at things, because before I even do this, let's look at the math, right? So the math is, let's see. Let's just go through it. So rent or mortgage, what's the average rent or mortgage right now? Let's say low end 2,500. That's probably low end. I know some of you are like 25, I wish, right? And so what's another utility? The car, right? So your car payment, the average is about 550. With insurance, probably we'll say about 800, right? And I'm keeping the numbers low. And then you got food and fuel, I call it F&F. Probably minimum 500 a month. I know you go way over that, but let's just keep it low. And then utilities, we'll just put UT for utility stuff inside of the house. Just say maybe 500. I didn't get into a bunch of other things, and we'll just leave it at that just to make it simple. But already we're at 4,300. Most people only have 1,500 1,500 in their savings. All of a sudden, you're at 4,300. You're probably only good for a week. And then your bills are going to come in, and this is going to keep compounding until you lose your place to stay. You lose your car, right? You're going to have a car with no gas. And then your family's going to struggle. Your food and fuel is going to go away. And that's the struggle life. And so you don't want to be in that lane. You don't want to be in the struggle lane just trying to survive. That's not the way for you to live or anyone else to live. And so you need to understand there's no such thing as a safe, secure job. That means you cannot rely on your paycheck, and your savings account will not save you. So the alternatives, very quickly off the top of my head, would be to understand that jobs are not safe, right? And so now that you understand that jobs are not safe, you know that you need an additional income. You need an additional income source that does not include a job. Your paycheck's not safe. That's fine. We're not going to focus on getting paychecks. We're going to focus on cash flow from that additional income source. And instead of just saving money to save it and call it a savings account, we're going to start looking for something that could get us out of this situation, something I call opportunity. Right? So instead of a savings account where you just save to save and wait on bad things to happen, how about we start looking for some opportunities? So remember the old playbook, and I always talk about this, the old rules of money say that you can work hard, ask for a raise, go to school, get a good job, and get a degree. This guarantees some income, and then you save money and buy a house because your job is safe and secure, which means your paycheck is safe and secure. And it's just not the way it is today. It may have been that way, for your parents and your grandparents, but it's not going to be that way for you today. So if you don't do anything different, here's what's going to happen to you, right? Your savings account, gone. Because as soon as you get into emergency, that's out. And guess what? They do not put money back into your savings account. The banks don't like you that much. They don't like me that much. So if you spend your savings, it's gone. That's it. You don't get any more, right? So that's it. So I want you to understand that. So and that's number one, your savings is gone. Number two, your credit card gets maxed out. I don't know if you know, but today is like the most credit card debt in American history. And the reason it is because this was not true. Well, I'll say it this way. It was true, but it's no longer true. So safe jobs are no longer true, which eliminates what? The safety net of the paycheck. So all of a sudden, the jobs are gone, which means the paychecks follow, right? It's like a domino effect. So you lose your job, that means you lose your paycheck. Problem with that, it's your only source of income. So it would be much different like if you lost your paycheck, but you had an additional source of income. And you were like, hey, I'm making money from this. And even though I lost my paycheck, this will kind of sustain us. See, I'd rather have an additional source of income that creates cash flow than to even have a savings account. Because savings accounts, they put you to sleep. Yeah, they put you to sleep. You go into financial hibernation. You know why? Because you look in the savings account and then you see $1,500 and all of a sudden you're comfortable, you're relaxed, you're not in hustle mode. You're not trying to figure things out, work things out. You're sleeping on your ideas and opportunities. The worst thing that happens with your savings account is you miss opportunities because you're trying to stack money instead of use the money, right? By the way, saving money just to save money is not a biblical principle. A biblical principle is using the money to make more money. Be fruitful and multiply. There it is. That applies. The 3 talents, the 3 servants that were given the talents. And when the owner came back, represented by God, he found 3 servants that he gave talents to according to their abilities. That's God giving you the tools to make it through this life and live an abundant life. And no, God doesn't want everybody to be rich, but if you're in his kingdom, you should be living in abundance. Doesn't mean there's not going to be some downtimes. That's what trials are. Life's going to do that. But you should be living in abundance, right? And he comes back and he finds the 2 that did a great job, multiplied, and then he finds the 1 who buried it, same as you, saving it, did nothing with it, and he called that servant wicked and evil and took everything from them. And he rewarded the one who did the most. Think about that. So if God did that, if God was here and he was doing that and that showed on Instagram, they would cancel him. Like, that's how it would be. But credit's maxed out. Relationships are strained because money pains affect the marriages, right? Health decline because people are stressed out. And again, you'll be stuck trying to restart every time. So instead of focusing on savings, I say, hey, what if that $1,500 you stop calling a savings account, you start calling an opportunity account? And now you have $1,500 worth of opportunity money. Now take that money, invest it into some type of opportunity. We have payment plans. You don't have to do what I do, but you're welcome to. And you can automatically get a return. Because again, if you blow through the savings, you get 0. If I blow through an opportunity account or I get new cash flow, I'd rather live off cash flow than a savings account. And I keep saying that and I mean that, but I hope people are getting it. So I just want you to understand that the days of selling time for money, the 9 to 5, that traditionalism, those things are about to become obsolete in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, but I do believe it's about to become obsolete in my opinion. So, and I want you to understand that. So I'll share with you, I've kind of shared with you why this system no longer works. There's no such thing as a safe, secure job anymore. You lose your job, you lose your paycheck. The problem is your paycheck is your only source of income, right? So instead of focusing on a job, why don't you focus on another income source or what I call an asset that creates cash flow? And that asset could be a business, it could be an investment, does not matter. But the point is you have to find another way to make money that does not include a job and a paycheck. Right? So I, for instance, have a middleman business, bookandmove.com. You can check out one of my sites. And so customers go there, book a move, pay me a deposit. That's cash flow. So my asset for my company, just to show you really quick, the asset for my company, just to prove to you that I don't just talk about this, I actually do this. Watch this. You ready? Watch this. By the way, I have a Bible study channel that I'm about to launch. And if you want to get the link to that, go ahead and put the number 1 in the comments. So instead of focusing on a job, what I did is I built a middleman business, right? I'll just put MMBIZ. I built a middleman business called Book and Move. BOOKANDMOVE.com. That's my asset. So instead of putting the money into the bank and leaving it there, I put my money, like a bunch of my students, into a middleman business, right? And so now that middleman business produces monthly cash flow. So let's say on a slow month, we make $12,000. So that's my cash flow, right? And then I use that cash flow, right, to fund my lifestyle. So however I want to live with my family, that's our lifestyle. So instead of, because a lot of you're going to do it a different way and you're going to end up in trouble. Instead of getting an asset, you're going to go out and find a job. And there's no freedom there because the thing that makes you free is controlling your time. And that's the very thing you have to sell. And then instead, you're going to get a job and then that job's going to give you a weekly or a monthly paycheck. But here's the catch. If you do not sell your time, you don't get the job. I'm sorry, you don't get the paycheck. They buy your time from you, right? And then your lifestyle is going to be financial prison. Why? Because as soon as you run out of time, they run out of paychecks. You're in financial prison. You're always strapped. Most people are stuck here, right? So you're stuck here because you haven't figured out that this old system does not work. Now, you don't have to do a middleman business or anything like that. You can bake cookies, you can cut lawns, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just showing you what I do. Now, if you want this kind of freedom, I work, to be honest with you, about 1 hour a week, right? And we have several ways that companies make money. We have students that are doing this now. We set it up for you. But we build a site, we connect automation, we give you the operating playbook, so we give you everything that you need, and you just focus on getting the traffic. We help you to get that, and then collecting the deposit. That's it. And the customers pay you a deposit. Your contractors, ISPs, independent service pros, they pay your deposit too. Monthly subscription to be on your site. It's a beautiful thing. Again, go check out bookandmove.com. Reason I reference that site, because if you get in here and you let us build it for you, we do all the building. We hand it to you ready to go, like out of the microwave. The popcorn is done. Here you go. Just start eating. And it takes about 1 hour a week. That's about all you spend running your business. It's super easy, super simple. I built it that way for myself, and now I'm starting to share it with other people. It's given me freedom, changed my life. I mean, look at what a low month can do for us, like 12 grand. Our bills aren't that high. We live a good life. But if that's something you want to do, all you have to do is put teach me in the comments below and get the free blueprint. But I just want you to think about it, because the alternative is to create an asset that cash flows and it changes your life, give you a life, as opposed to what you guys do now, trade time for money on a job, hope to get a paycheck, end up in financial prison because they do not pay you enough money to live your best life. Now, if you're comfortable where you are and you don't need a bunch of money, that's fine. This is not for everyone. This is just for those who want to change their lives, right? So you know what to do. I got to go. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up, welcome to the channel. If you want more content like this, I'm going to keep putting it out. Just keep sharing the channel if you don't mind. For those of you who have been on the fence, waiting for the opportunity to get into this, listen, here's what you need to know. Your job is not safe. The money you have in your savings account today, you're just going to blow through it, and the banks don't put it back. You're going to go to zero at some point, and you're going to wish and regret, sit there just wishing you would have done something when you had the opportunity. Listen, one of the most important lessons you got to learn in this life, don't miss opportunity when it's available to you and you can take advantage of it, okay? Don't live with that kind of regret. All right, guys, I got to go. I got some things I got to do today. No hard work. I don't do hard work, but I do want to work on my golf swing. So for all the students who have just enrolled, congratulations. Check your email within 24 hours after enrollment. You should get an email informing you of what your next steps are, including the link to the 2-hour tutorial to break down how your site's going to work and how you're going to manage it. And then we'll get into some cool stuff, getting customers, getting ISPs and whatnot. I also had a few students reach out to me. I don't even talk about this a lot, but reach out to get shirts. I have 2 designs, but if you want to get a shirt, reach out and I can get a middleman shirt to you. Look, let everybody know you're a middleman and middlewoman CEO. This is for everybody. All right, I got to go. See you guys on the next video. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Listen, don't stress out about this stuff, okay? But get prepared. Get ahead of this. The 9-to-5s, over with. I'm telling you, it's not going to be the same. We're probably a year, maybe 2 years max from nothing being the same. Don't get caught up and wiped out by AI and automation. Do something now so you can take care of yourself and your family. Peace.